what's up? It's Big Hot Rod and L Train coming at y'all. Man, it's the T-Train show. Y'all know what time it is, man. What up, T? What up? Hot Rod. What up? L Train. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's the
Welcome to another edition of 3 the Hard Way. And as always, I got my fellas with me. I couldn't think of a better week to have my fellas with me. But before we dive into what we're going to dive into, let me introduce the fellas. First off, as always, the man, the creator of 3-a-days. You don't want to be in his 3-a-days, breakfast, noon, and dinner time practice. Mr. Hot Rod, the influencer, Rodney Young. What's going on, Hot Rod?
What's going on, 3 the Hard Way Nation? Y'all know me. I'm your friendly neighborhood coach, and as I always say, you may not like what I'm saying, but you will listen.
And right next to us is the captain, who has been stomaching all of this Cleveland Browns mess that we're going to talk about today. The captain, Mr. Terrence Austin. T, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas, and what's going on, everyone out there? 3 the Hard Way Nation. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this ship underway. Let's go.
Hey, man, lots to unpack, fellas. Like, I picked the Browns after 6 games to be 0-6, and they're 1-5 right now, so they're 1 game better than I thought. I couldn't foresee them beating the Green Bay Packers, them cheeseheads up here in Wisconsin, but they did. But for the most part, it has been horrific. It's been a horrific 6 games. There's a lot of different things that we can point at. We can point at the front office. We can point at the head coach. We can point at the quarterback position. We can point at the offensive line. So we're going to get into all of it today. Dylan Gabriel had his second start. I suppose we can start there, fellas. Just give me your assessment of what you thought about Dylan Gabriel's second start with the Cleveland Browns, man. Just give me your insight and what you think.
It was a long day for the youngster, okay? It was a long day. But you know what? He showed toughness, man. He showed toughness. Got his stats here. What was he? 29 for 52, 221 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, okay? The fact that he's small in size really showed up yesterday. It really showed up, but it also showed that he could take a hit, okay?
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to put yesterday's game on him. In fact, all of the rookies that played yesterday showed up, okay?
That's right.
All
That's
of them,
right.
except for, Shedeur didn't play, but he was on the sideline playing his role as far as note-taking and, supporting what was going on the field. But getting back to the rookies, man, my hat's off to them. And the thing about it, all those kids come from winning programs, okay? And my concern is with this losing, with this bad coaching. The Browns don't do anything good, unfortunately, okay? We don't do anything good. The defense is starting to take a toll. The fact that the offense can't get it going is starting to take a toll on our defense. So you can't say we do anything good because yesterday, we couldn't score any points, couldn't get in the end zone. We're still dropping passes.
Yeah.
The penalties, the offsides, our offensive line, those 2 guys that are filling in.
Bad football.
Yeah, bad football, man. The defense giving up big plays. What was the second play of the game? That big 400-pound tight end, almost, scored on us, okay? So, again, it's just we're not doing anything good, anything right. I listened to Cleveland radio beginning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning because today was a holiday, and the whole city, they're coming for Kevin Stefanski. His time, his luck is running out. The fans want him out of there. Like we were saying during the pregame show, you mean we got another month and a half, 2 months of this to deal with? Man, Sundays I look forward to, watching NFL, watching the Cleveland Browns as we have been since our childhood, going back to the days of Brian Sipe and Bernie Kosar. Okay, that's what Sundays are made for. Like I say, I break my neck getting out of church to turn on the TV and be in front of the TV. But this is rough, guys. This is rough. And the only reason why I watched the entire game yesterday is because of our show. I got to be ready. But, man, it's tough. So I'm sure Rod will break down the X's and O's and get a little bit more intimate. But it's tough. But hats off to the rookies because they're balling. But again, like I say, I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose them, and I don't know, man. Go ahead, Rod. I don't know.
So normally at times I will take the high road, but in this instance, I forgot the address to it. This was absolutely a putrid display of football on all three levels. The offense could not generate any movement at all. Jack Conklin got hurt again. All right. Jerry Jeudy dropped more passes. Isaiah Bond gets hit in the helmet because he won't turn around and look and see if a ball is coming. Countless penalties, which is a lack of discipline. The defense is not going to get away with this atrocity. Now, I may give them a little bit of leeway because they're trying to hold on. They're trying to bandage a bullet wound with a Band-Aid. Okay. They trade Greg Newsome in the middle of the week, and the corner that came in, he has to go up against DK Metcalf. Thanks.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
On 3 days rest.
After just playing.
Welcome to the Browns. Welcome to the Browns.
Right. Exactly.
4 days rest,
Welcome to the Cleveland Browns. All right. So special teams wise, we get running into the kicker. All right. It was an amazing comedy of errors. Dylan Gabriel, at first I was going to give Dylan a pass, but then as I texted, L Train hit me up like, oh, no. Contraire mon frere, we're not giving him no pass.
Give him a pass.
Okay?
Give him a pass.
Because there should have been three to four balls that should have been picked. And he threw a lot of what's called hospital balls in the middle, about to get receivers killed.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because he throwing hospital passes.
Yeah.
All right. So, having said that, then we get to the press conference at the end, and Kevin Stefanski is Kevin Stefanski. He says the same
Robotic. Very robotic.
Robotic rhetoric stuff. Okay? But what's telling is Myles Garrett was asked if he is frustrated, and he said yes.
Yeah, very telling.
Okay.
That is a very
telling. Okay. He said yes. I believe that Kevin Stefanski has lost the locker room. I believe he's lost it because this is not a culture of winning. And although we applaud the rookies, why do we applaud the rookies? The captain just said it. They have all come from winning organizations, winning colleges.
Yeah.
Junkins, The Ohio State University. Gabriel, Oregon. Okay. Shador, Colorado. All right. Winning cultures. All right. Schlesinger, UCLA. They've come from winning. Even Isaiah Bond came from Texas. Winning cultures. And I do believe that these rookies are going to turn the organization around from a player standpoint. But the problem is not the players. The problem falls on the coaches. Kevin Stefanski, Bubba Ventrone, okay? I'm gonna give the defense a kind of a pass because they've been holding on. But they haven't had any help. Okay? And let me say this. Congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did say that they were going to be a sleeper team. I called it. All right? They are 4-1. However, that's smoke and mirrors, y'all, because I don't believe Pittsburgh is that good.
They're not.
I just don't.
They're not that good.
I just think the Browns are just that bad.
Bad.
Okay.
They are that bad.
Oh, and by the way, Joe Flacco threw for 2 tutties yesterday. Just want to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And don't even mention that guy down in Tampa. Don't mention that guy in Tampa.
Don't
my
bring up
goodness.
Baker.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because all the Baker bros gonna come out. So no, it was and we can get into some X's and O's a little bit later, but it just I'm just tired of watching this, man. I'm tired.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
So
Well, when you look at Dillon Gabriel, I think it's really, really important that everybody, whether you're pro Shedeur, anti Shedeur, pro Dillon, anti Dillon, wherever you stand on who the quarterback should be for the Cleveland Browns, I think it's important that we give Dillon Gabriel enough time.
Yeah.
Like we've got to get away from all these small sample size stuff. If you look at his last 2 starts, they haven't been terrible. But they've been okay. But the standard that I'm going to use for Dillon Gabriel is he a franchise quarterback? Because when you hear things about Shedeur, you always hear, he's not a franchise guy. So being a franchise guy is what we're looking for. We're looking for that in Dillon Gabriel. We're looking for that with Shedeur Sanders. Right now, I have not seen even a glimmer of franchise quarterback from Dillon Gabriel. I think he's a smart kid. I think he's a talented kid. But when I look at a guy that's going to be the guy under center for the next 10 years, I just don't see that with Dillon Gabriel. Now, he may prove me wrong. He may prove me wrong, but right now what I'm thinking about him is exactly what he is showing me on the field. He has trouble seeing over the offensive line, as Hot Rod has pointed out numerous times. The one pick he almost threw to the sideline is because he couldn't see over the left tackle. He never saw that linebacker slipping down. So that's what he's going to face a lot. His mobility in the NFL is not as potent as it was in college because you got bigger, stronger, faster guys chasing after you. So his speed doesn't jump off the page at you. And again, this is nothing on Dillon Gabriel. I just don't see franchise. But my question to you fellas is, what are we doing? Like, this is I know there's been a few sprinkled in good seasons with the Cleveland Browns, but this has been, as I said last week, basically since the original Browns went and became the Ravens, like this organization has not recovered from this. And as much as I would love to blame it on Dillon Gabriel or Kevin Stefanski, I think the problem is so much bigger. I think Kevin Stefanski is just a byproduct of what's been going on for years in terms of not being able to pick a good head coach for this franchise. So the Cleveland Browns right now, man, just as a franchise is just so embarrassing. Fellas, they're paying 8 different quarterbacks. They're paying 8 different quarterbacks. What franchise that's out there right now in any sport is playing 8 guys, 6 of them, who isn't even playing for your team? I mean, they're paying Deshaun Watson. They're paying Jameis Winston. They're paying Dillon Gabriel. They're paying Joe Flacco. They're paying Shedeur Sanders. They're paying Bailey Zappi. They're paying DTR. And they're paying Kenny Pickett. You're talking about a mismanagement of finances, resources, bad decision-making coming home to roost. It is an embarrassment for the Cleveland Browns. Let's dive into the coach now. Because go ahead, T.
No, go ahead, LJ. Finish your thought.
Let's dive into the coach now with Kevin Stefanski, man. Kevin Stefanski, he's not the head of the organization, but he's the face of the organization. And he is not doing his job. Like, he does not do a great job being a head coach of the Cleveland Browns. This is, and I'll leave it with this, and I would love to hear your thoughts. The great thing about where the Browns is right now is that somebody within the organization that has the power needs to recognize that you're at a fork in the road. And you're at a fork in the road with about 8 different ways you can go. And so the agenda for the Cleveland Browns now, because this season is gone, man. This season is not going to get much better than what it is. But you can look at the starting point in terms of next season and say to yourself, hey, fellas, we got to get it right. So first of all, getting it right is finding a head coach that can just come in, that's competent, that can do the job, and then start going from there. But let me hear your thoughts about Kevin Stefanski. who's coming in next year? Because Kevin Stefanski's not going to be on the sideline next year.
Yeah, Coach Stefanski isn't the guy. Rod said it last week, okay? I forgot the names, and when I'm sure he'll bring up the names of the guys that came in and talked to the owner, okay? And one of the reasons the owner can pay all those guys, I travel up and down Interstate 95 all the time between here and Florida, and those Flying J truck stops are at just about every stop, and they're full of trucks and full
Yes,
of diesel
sir.
fuel. So that's
Yep.
why all those guys are getting paid, okay? But getting back to what, like Rod said last week, we need somebody to come in and change the culture, okay? Someone to come in and change the culture. Now, Dillon Gabriel, you throw him out there next week. You keep throwing him out there until, how would I put it, until, he just can no longer do it. And then you bring Shador in, which I'm in no rush because, again, I don't want Shador to come in with this offensive line and these wide receivers that can't catch the ball because he'll really look like a 5th-round pick, okay? And I don't want that smoke, don't want that heat coming from the national media, coming from the guys on Fox Sports, the guys on ESPN, CBS Radio, and all of that stuff. So to answer your question, again, like, Rod said last week, we need someone to come in and change the culture. For right now, next week against Miami, a team that's just as bad as us, but I don't think we can beat. You throw Dillon out there again, okay? Right now, no, he's not a franchise quarterback, but right now, he's the best that we have to play the position for right now, okay?
Yep.
And you just roll with him. You just roll with the kid. I'm pulling for the kid. Again, I just want my team to win. But right now, it just doesn't look that way until we get the right guy in here, to run the show. And like I say, Rod talked about it last week when whomever that was, he talked about when he met with the owner, met with Jimmy and D, he said, hey, I want a clean house. I want everybody to go. And, you see he was gone out the door and he was probably what we needed. Okay. So for right now, it's just going to be the same old every week. We'll start the show off with our heads down and then we'll perk up when we talk about other topics because our team is struggling, man. So again, we need somebody to come in and change the culture.
I just want to jump in really quick before Hot Rod goes. Hot Rod should have a crystal ball in front of his camera because a lot of the stuff that he said a couple of months ago is coming to fruition right now. Though the one word that he used about Kevin Stefanski, that he keeps using about Kevin Stefanski every week was petty. And I saw a lot of that pettiness. He's trying to prove that Dillon Gabriel is the man. So he put that kid out there and had him throw almost 60 times in a game, knowing that offensive line wouldn't hold up. And because I believe in what Hot Rod said about him being petty now, I'm really starting to see it. I don't know if I want Shador going out there.
Don't want him out there.
With
want
him as head coach, because I believe he would try to sabotage
I agree.
Shador.
I agree.
And that's a strong take, man, to say that your head coach will try to sabotage a player on the team. I just kind of see it now. When you look at 52 attempts from Dillon Gabriel yesterday, what do you think he's going to do if Shador gets an opportunity when he's trying to prove that Dillon Gabriel should be the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns? Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, and I want Rod to
give you your credit.
And I want Rod to break down too. First and goal from the three, and then you take our running back out. You take him out. What's up with that, man? What is up with that? What's up?
So let me tackle this a little bit at a time.
Please do.
Number one, when I said Kevin Stefanski is petty, the proof is in the pudding.
Yes, sir.
When it came to Baker Mayfield and how he treated Baker, petty. After Baker kind of criticized him after he had tore his labrum for sending him out against T.J. Watt with a rookie right tackle, he got petty. He has shown his pettiness. All right, even last year when it came to the Ken Dorsey offense. They brought in Ken Dorsey. He didn't bring in Ken Dorsey. They brought Ken Dorsey in, and they told him he's going to run the offense. Well, Kevin said, okay. Kevin didn't assist with that. Kevin Stefanski is petty. He wants to prove that he's the smartest guy in the room. He wants to prove that he's the smartest guy on the field. Very, very, very simple, okay? He thinks he can outsmart a lot of these coaches, And what these coaches are doing, I said it last week, is these coaches is kind of like in that movie, The Water Boy. They're grabbing, hey, how to run an NFL offense by dummies. That's the book that they're looking at when it comes to Kevin Stefanski. Okay. To answer your question, Captain, that is Kevin Stefanski as a whole. You have a stud running back. Okay. A stud running back. You're on the goal line and you pull him to throw the football. That's what I'm talking about. With you, L Train, 54 passes Dillon Gabriel threw yesterday to ham, cheese, and hamburgers. He threw 54 passes.
Yeah.
And he only accumulated 221 yards out of 54 attempts.
And you can't use the excuse that the Browns were down by 20 for the whole game.
Right.
They still had a chance to win.
Remember, they went into halftime. It was 9-3, guys. It was 9-3 at halftime.
We were in reach.
And then the barrage took place. I said this before, and I will say it again. Kevin Stefanski is a used car salesman. All right? He thinks that people are stupid. Okay? Now, also, you said something else, L Train. This organization has been dysfunctional since 1999.
Been a long time.
Okay? Since 1999, they have not been able to find a coach. The coach that I was talking about that talked to Jimmy Haslam was Josh McDaniels.
Yes.
Josh McDaniels talked to Jimmy.
You see what he's doing.
And Jimmy said, what would you do if you're the head coach? He said, I'd get rid of everybody in here, down to the water boys, everybody. And he told him no. Jimmy Haslam is a part of the problem. He is a Timu version of Jerry Jones. That is Jimmy Haslam. He thinks he can throw money and the problem will be solved. That's why he did it to Myles Garrett. Okay? He thinks he can just throw money at things. By the way, guys, do you know it got approved that now he can move to Brook Park? You know how that happened?
Yeah.
He paid off the city of Cleveland and said that he would demolish the stadium as it is now. Jimmy Haslam believes that he can throw money at everything. All right. But the bottom line is there is no culture. And I'm going to throw this name out here. And L Train said it, and I've been researching, and I'm going to be on his bandwagon right now. And that is Brian Flores.
Yep.
That is Brian Flores. You need to get a dose of culture. Someone who's not going to tank. He's proved that. Someone who is going to be able to run the organization the way it needs to be run. Okay? The last time we had culture was Marty Schottenheimer and Bud Carson. That was it.
Great call.
We haven't had culture there since then. Okay? And like I said, coming back in 1999, we've really been hurting ever since. And like I said, Stefanski was touted as this guru coming out of Minnesota. Well, I don't know what he's doing right now, but yes, he's very petty. He wants to prove that he can run his offense, and yes, he wants to prove that Dillon Gabriel is a franchise quarterback because he was his pick. And I do agree. I don't want Shedeur out there. Not now. Not because of how petty he is, and not because we got two incredibly awful left and right tackles.
It's bad.
I wouldn't put that young man in the middle of that. Absolutely not. Now, will we see Shedeur at some point? Yeah, because Dillon's gonna get killed. With this left and right tackle, Dillon Gabriel is going to get just absolutely destroyed. Okay. And I like I said, I think that Andrew Berry has got a great rookie class. I think this rookie class has saved his job. This rookie class that has come in has saved his job. And I quietly believe that he's distancing himself from Stefanski, i.e., when he traded Greg Newsome, i.e., when he traded Joe Flacco. I believe, because if you listen to Jim Schwartz was not happy with the fact that Andrew Berry traded away Greg Newsome in the middle of the week. Go back to his press conference. He wasn't happy at all. And then Stefanski came in and said with Joe Flacco, oh yeah, that was a shocker. How? How was that a shocker?
Yeah.
I believe that Andrew Berry is distancing himself and saying, I'm going to run this organization the way I see fit. Kevin's on his own. So, now, lastly, I do believe Kevin is going to fall on the sword for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I understand the criticism that he's getting, which he should. But I truly believe that Kevin is falling on the sword for orders that he's been getting from the ivory tower.
Mm-hmm. And I think more trades are coming this week, Rod, according to
for sure.
What I heard today.
David Njoku is gone.
Next. Yeah, he's gone.
Njoku's gone.
He's gone.
Njoku's gone, and because he kept rolling it. We had to spend a time out because he took a hit, even though he got a hospital ball from Dylan Gabriel. He took a hit. That's why Harold Fannin was drafted. Harold Fannin was not drafted to play along
I like
David
his fight.
Njoku.
I like Fanning's fight.
Yeah.
I like his fight.
Yeah, Harold Fannin was drafted to get rid of David Njoku. David Njoku is gone. Okay,
Yeah.
Shelby Harris is going to be on the block too. Okay, I think what Andrew Berry is thinking of is he's going with the youth movement. The only untouchables on this team right now is Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, and maybe Grant Delpit. Otherwise, everybody else is on the block.
Yeah, man. It's the Browns right now. Their brass need to get together because, again, we all know Kevin Stefanski is not going to be around next year unless he turns this thing around and goes to a Super Bowl. Kevin Stefanski is gone from the Cleveland Browns. We'll never have to worry about Kevin Stefanski again. He'll never be a head coach in the NFL again. He's not head coach material. He'll latch on and get some sort of coordinator position. Obviously he's kind of proven himself as an offensive coordinator. Why that hasn't translated to the Cleveland Browns in terms of their offensive prowess, I do not know. But the Cleveland Browns, they need to find themselves a head coach and a person that can galvanize and motivate that locker room. When I first got hired, fellas, at Viterbo University here in Wisconsin to coach women's basketball, they were coming off of 19 straight losing seasons. And I was familiar with them because I had one of the players at the high school that I was coaching at commit to Viterbo, so I used to always come and watch her games. And I remember sitting in the stands watching 30, 40-point blowouts at Viterbo, right? So long story short, their coach ends up resigning late in the summer. And I said, well, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for this job. Beautiful campus. It's right on the Mississippi, downtown La Crosse. It's really, really nice. So long story short, I end up getting the job. Our first game was against Cardinal Stritch University. They were ranked 15th in the country. And we were lowly Viterbo. Like, we win 2 games a year. And so I remember I had about 8 days to prepare for that game because I got hired late. And the only thing I did was I taught my team aggressive defense. I taught my team aggressive offense. And that's all that I did in terms of X's and O's. The 90% of that 8 days was spent on them believing that they were champions. Mm-hmm. And I remember there were people around the university that were kind of giggling and laughing because I had t-shirts made, future NCSA champions. We talk championship. We walk the walk. That's how you change the culture. Long story short, we played Cardinal Stritch, and we end up beating them. My first game as a college head coach, 8 days to prepare, and it was all about changing the mind. It wasn't about plays. It wasn't about my coaching acumen, X's and O's, none of that stuff. It was about teaching our women that they are champions and to think like champions. Yep, every second, every minute of the day. That's what the Cleveland Browns need. They need a proven motivator. They need a proven winner. The end thing to do now is to find the most innovative young coach that's out there on the staff. And I don't think the Browns need that, man. Look at what the Miami Dolphins are going through. They got the guy that was supposed to be a genius when everybody was after him, and now he's failing because he didn't have a proven track record of leading the team. The Cleveland Browns need a proven winner. Enough is enough, fellas. Somebody in the organization, they've got to come to the forefront and say, hey, we've got to get this right. Yeah. We've got to get this right now. It's time. You know, Hot Rod, you made a great point. We haven't had a winner since Marty Schottenheimer, man. Just a consistent winner since Marty Schottenheimer. Fellas, it is time. Like, just like T, you're tired of watching it, and you're one of the most passionate Cleveland fans that I know. Hot Rod, you're tired of watching it. I saw Casey post on social media. She was like, I'm boycotting the game because Newsom got tried. I'm like, Casey not watching the Browns on Sunday? I mean, come on, man. This is getting too deep. Yeah. And the fans of Cleveland deserve better, fellas.
We do. We do. We do.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You've got people have been talking about the whole Deshaun Watson thing. Is there smoke where there's fire? Is he going to get an opportunity to come back and play for the Cleveland Browns again?
I don't want to see him, and I've mentioned his name in the past, here. I've mentioned it, but the way this thing looks, no, because that would just, how would I put it? That would just bring more eyeballs on us. That would bring just more fodder coming our way about how dysfunctional we are and this and that. No, roll with Dylan, and then after Dylan, can't do it anymore, put Shador in there, which again, like the three of us, I'm hesitant with because, again, as bad as we are, I again don't want him to look anything like a fifth-round quarterback, which he definitely wasn't, but we know how all of that went down. But no, don't even, mention Deshaun because, again, like I say, I don't want that negative fodder, coming our way. I really don't. He's had his chance. If he gets healthy, send him somewhere else. It just did not work here. Again, I was down with it when it happened. I understand why we went with it, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately. It just didn't. Yep. Didn't work out.
Well, I'm so exhausted talking about this football team right now. I'm gonna be honest.
You can tell, all right?
I'm absolutely exhausted because we are trying to figure out what is wrong with this organization, and we already know.
What it is, yeah.
Yeah, we know exactly what it is, and the biggest thing for me is Jimmy Haslam is taking a page out of Jerry Jones's book. Jerry Jones, at one point in time in the Micah Parsons deal, made a statement saying, I know people are talking negative about me, but at least they're talking about
it. Yeah. Making him relevant.
And that's what Jimmy Haslam, I think that's the road that he's taking, is being even relevant. Though it's dysfunctional, they're talking about the Cleveland Browns. That's what they're doing. But he's missing the mark. He's completely missing it. And so I'm like, for me, we are all diehard Browns fans. And of course, they're going to come on Sunday against Miami, and we all going to be at the tube talking about, I'm going to be talking about it again. But this goes back to what I talked about last week, is the fans of Cleveland settling for mediocrity and allowing the organization to tell you what they're telling you. It's the Cleveland media, to spin the narratives as they're spinning it. They're starting to get tired. If you see Tony Rizzo is had enough, all right? He's had enough. Mary Kay, they've had enough. Zach Jackson, they have all had enough.
G. Bush.
Karma. They've all G. Bush. I ride with G. Bush because G. Bush tells it like a T.I. is. And he sits on that panel on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and he makes people nervous because he's speaking facts. He's speaking truth. You know what I'm saying? And so the fans of Cleveland are tired of this. But then, the question is, when you get rid of Stefanski, then what's next? What's next?
That's what they got to get right.
Yeah. What's next? You know, you got the, like I said, I keep mentioning the Pittsburgh Steelers because they've had 3 coaches in like 30, 35 years. That's a stable organization. I mean, you see what happened in New England. Belichick took over the helm, and now you got dynasty. Okay, look what Andy Reid is doing in Kansas City. It's about culture. And once again, when you look at the Cleveland Browns organization, you don't know what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing.
They have no plan. Yeah.
Go Cavs.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you on G. Bush. I love G. Bush. I agree with 99.9% of what he throws down. He said something today that I didn't agree with. He said if it got, and I'm paraphrasing here, if it got so bad, people will stop watching and people will stop caring and paying attention. That's where I push back a little bit because this is Cleveland. Cleveland, I've said it before on other podcasts, Cleveland has the best sports fans in the world. Look at all the stuff that we've been through as a fan base, yet we keep coming back. And I think that part of it is why the Browns themselves as an organization, they really don't have a sense of urgency to get it right because they know the money's always going to be there and the fans are always going to be there. Now, I think the fans somewhat, they have, a little bit of shell shock. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. When Art Modell sold the team, I think that was Black Monday in Cleveland, Ohio. Man, nobody wants to go through that again. So I feel like there's a big segment of the fan base that feels like if they turn their back on the team or if they don't go down to that stadium or the ratings aren't high for games and people stop paying attention, that the Cleveland Browns are going to up and move somewhere. So I think there's a little bit of shock and awe from the Cleveland Browns fans in terms of, will this team move if we put our foot forward and say, hey, we're not going to stand for this anymore? Standard is the key. You look at Ohio State last year.
Yes.
Ryan Day, for all intents and purposes, have been a really, really good, a great coach for the Ohio State Buckeyes. But he hasn't beaten Michigan in a long time.
Right.
And some people think you've got guys like Kurt Herbstreit that calls the fans that get upset about that the lunatic fringe. Now, I'm not on board with sending hate mail to people's houses and all that sort of stuff. But fans have a right to be upset. Your standard is your standard. Look at Penn State yesterday. Enough is enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
It's like this isn't going the way we want to go. So it's time to make a change, even though Coach Franklin took them out of a bad situation, he and Bill O'Brien, with the whole Joe Paterno thing, how quickly people forget where he brought that program from. But yet and still, you lose the Northwestern, you got to go. So it's okay to have standards. I wish that at some point, man, the Cleveland Browns had that standard. And I think the power's in the people. Hot Rod said it best last week, where he's not telling you how to spend your money. But at some point, the fans of Cleveland have to speak. They have the power to turn this thing around, man. And it's just unfortunate where the Browns are.
I think also, and you made a great point, L Train. I think what keeps the Browns fans engaged, even in the midst of what's going on now, is the Buckeyes. I think by Ohio State still being the number 1 team in the country, and playing the way that they play, I think that kind of takes the sting of when the Browns are the Browns.
Yeah. It always has for me.
Yeah, I think it takes the sting. And so let me throw you a hypothetical.
Okay.
Completely hypothetical, okay? Let the Browns fans know I'm not reporting anything. This is just completely hypothetical, okay? Do you talk to Ryan Day and Matt Patricia if you are at the Cleveland Browns?
I would. It's better than anything we got right now. Yeah. And Ohio State will continue to win. They'll continue to win.
I forgot to add. I forgot to add another person to there, and that's the great Larry Johnson. He's the defensive line coach. Do you reach out to Ryan Day and Matt Patricia, who has been an NFL defensive coordinator? Ryan Day has been an NFL offensive coordinator. Do you reach out? Do you look in your backyard? Because that's the one thing. Now, the Browns have started to do this, but the one thing that they didn't do is they would not go into Ohio State and pick players from Ohio State. They have no choice now because they are the national champions and have an opportunity to win another national championship. Okay? And so, let me throw this out to you. If you have a number one pick and you are the Browns, do you go after Arch Manning or Jeremiah Smith?
I like Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver. I'd definitely go after him.
Jeremiah Smith. That's easy.
Jeremiah Smith, no doubt. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeremiah Smith.
I want to throw this out there. Okay. And then for me, I'm gonna double back and grab.
Arch ain't ready yet.
I'm gonna double back and grab Carnell Tate as quick as I could.
Yeah.
As quick
and you
as I
instantly improve your wide receiver room. Young and
exponentially. Yes. Yep. So I just want to throw that. I'm not reporting anything, Browns fans. I don't go running with this like I broke some news. I'm just saying that the success of Ryan Day at Ohio State, the success of Matt Patricia after Jim Knowles leaves, they're both former NFL coaches or coordinators. Do you talk to them if you're the Cleveland Browns, if you had that opportunity? That's all.
Yeah. I would say, you know what, man? I never thought about the Ryan Day thing. For the Cleveland Browns, I don't like the Ryan Day thing only because of this. I want a proven guy now. I just want a proven guy. I think Ryan Day could probably come in and do a great job. I just don't know that. He's not proven. I want a proven winner now for the Browns. Like, we've done the college guy coordinator thing. I want a guy that has, some notches under his belt in the NFL, that has done some things. And I think, like you paid Deshaun Watson, the same aggressiveness has to go to your head coach and how you pay him and who you go out and get. The Cleveland Browns should be able to do that.
Yeah. And again, like I said last week, Byron Leftwich, nobody's giving him a chance.
Yes,
he had his shot when they won that Super Bowl. That was his chance, but he wanted to stay in Tampa.
As well.
Yeah. But I love Byron Leftwich. Yeah, don't forget about him.
It's funny that you bring up Leftwich, and I put Eric Bieniemy kind of in the same boat. It's amazing to me that during the season when Leftwich was at Tampa Bay and Eric Bieniemy was in Kansas City, those two offensive coordinators, they had the number 1 and the number 2 offense in the NFL, and neither one of them got head coaching jobs. That is absolutely insane, man. Insane. Let's open up the mailbag, man. I've been getting emailed. There's like, hey, man, you, Hot Rod, and T, y'all don't go to the mailbag anymore. So we're gonna go to the mailbag and answer some of these questions.
Even on a federal holiday, we're going to the mailbag.
That's
where
right.
Mail went delivered.
We're going to the mailbag. Kendra, this is for Kendra from Columbus, Ohio. She says, we keep adding random pieces like Tyson Campbell, but I'm asking you guys, what's the plan? Are we rebuilding, retooling, or are we just reacting from week to week?
I think we're just trying to stay afloat, okay? Because again, we're just trying to stay afloat because again, like you guys say, there's no standard in place. So we're just throwing things up against the wall to see what will stick. We're just trying to survive.
I'm going to take a statement from G. Bush, and I think it's Operation Stockpile. I think that's what Andrew Berry is doing behind the scenes. Because what he's doing with these trades is he's accumulating picks. If you noticed, what he's doing is he's getting picks, and so I think what he's trying to do is rebuild, but he's not trying to make it seem like a rebuild. He's trying to
do it on the slide.
He's trying to bring some more money in because he keeps pushing Deshaun Watson's money down the line. But he's trying to rebuild. Now, he can't come out and openly say he's rebuilding because then that means he lied to Myles, and then he lied to Bitonio. Okay, because Bitonio, the only reason Joel Bitonio came back is because he was told, here's the plan. And so he's not going to say it's a rebuild. All right. But you also have to look at it as this. Wyatt Teller, Ethan Pochik, and Joel Bitonio, their contracts are, well, Bitonio's probably going to retire after this year. But Wyatt Teller is coming up on, this is a contract year for him as well, I believe. And so we're looking at, and who knows what's going to happen with DeJuan Jones. This whole entire offensive line will be brand new next year. All 5 guys, it'll be brand new. So to answer a question, I think they're trying to retool quietly.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rod, on that. I think the Browns do have a plan. I think it would be irresponsible for me to come on here and say, well, that they don't have a plan. I just don't know if I trust the plan. Like the people that are in place making the plan, I'm not sure that I trust it, but we got to let this thing play out, man. So that's kind of the way it is. Kenny from Strongsville, Ohio, he says, yep, if the O-line is this bad and the run game is not existent, why not simplify the offense and stop pretending we're a passing juggernaut? 54 attempts yesterday, fellas. Where did that come from?
Go ahead,
I guess
Rod.
for me, my only question for him is, how much more simpler can you make this offense?
No kidding.
This offense is high schoolish. They're running routes that I coached years ago. Okay. And so it's a great question, but I have to answer that question with a question. How do you simplify something that's already stupid? Yeah. How do you do that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's
so
already
I don't
reduced
know how.
to its lowest terms.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
right.
like
I don't know how you would do
its
that.
lowest term.
Right. So, yeah.
Tina from Akron, Ohio says, hey, fellas, Kevin Stefanski keeps saying the offense is close. Close to what? We're 30th in touchdowns. Do y'all think it's time for a new voice play calling for a quick fix?
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Hand grenades.
Ain't
right.
nothing close.
Not close.
They're close to what? Close to the. Let's look at the 3 of us. We're walking in Brown's depression. What in the world can we do? What? I mean, there's nothing else that we can do. There's nothing else that he can do. It's simple. It's very, very simple. Kevin Stefanski is the problem, y'all. We can come up with all of this, and that's a great question. But
it is, yeah. No
yeah.
answer.
Nah.
Yeah. Remember back in the day before you had these sensors on your rear view mirror and everything on your car? There used to be this thing that used to say objects in your mirror are closer than they appear. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Cleveland Browns, this may be strange. I think the Cleveland Browns are far away with the current leadership, the coach, and everybody. I think if they get somebody competent in there, man, they've got the one thing you can hang your hat on is this defense that they have in place and the young rookies that they brought in. Yeah. That is a good foundation for this organization. They just got to bring somebody in that can mold it, fellas.
Right.
They just.
And to add to what you're saying, L Train, because there's some talent on this team.
Yeah.
Really, we beat them up, but they're bad, but they're not that bad. As crazy as it sounds, they're bad, but they're not that bad. There's a lot of talent on this team. A lot of talent.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's where we had to answer some questions in the mailbag. I know you guys have been chomping at the bit to get us to answer some of those. So we got to do that. But now it is time for we're going to boot camp. Shave your heads. Make sure your beds are made the right way. We are going into teas. Boot camp tea. Who do you got in boot camp today?
All right. First up in T's boot camp, I need front and center the entire officiating crew for last night's Chiefs-Lions game. The entire crew. Guess why? Guess why, fellas?
What?
The Chiefs did not have one penalty in last night's game. Can you
What?
believe that? Not one
Wow.
penalty. Get
Come
that
on.
whole crew into my boot camp ASAP. What in the world? What in the world?
Drop it, give me 50 for them.
Probably give me 50, which led to, and I don't condone violence. We don't condone fighting, but that's what led to the guy, at the end of the game yesterday. I forgot the player for Detroit who, when Patrick Mahomes went to shake his hand, okay, he just ignored him. I get that. And then when he walked up to, I guess, who was that he walked up to for the Chiefs and just mugged him in the face? That's why the kid was
Juju
frustrated.
Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, Juju. And we know Juju can run his mouth. We know he can run his mouth, okay? But again, like I say, not one penalty was thrown in the direction of the Chiefs last night. Man, that's ludicrous. That's crazy. So drop and give me 50, okay? And last but not least, I'm going to baseball. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Right now, he is 0 for 9, okay? In his last number at bats. 0 for 9, okay? Now, I was watching the game earlier before we went on, and his first 2 plate appearances, first time I think he struck out, and the last time he grounded out. He's always running his mouth shooting off, okay? And if he doesn't get it right tonight, they're going to go down, 2-0 or 0-2 to Seattle, okay? So drop and give me 50, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You're nothing like your dad. Your dad wouldn't go 0 for 9.
Wow.
Yeah, he would never go 0 for 9. So Vlad Guerrero Jr., the Toronto Blue Jays, remember he was part of that mess a couple months ago when we played the Guardians and they were throwing at Jose and this and that. He was shooting off at the mouth. I can't stand any team in the American League East as far as baseball. Only team I'll tolerate is the Baltimore Orioles because I used to live in Maryland. But the Yankees I can't stand, the Red Sox I can't stand, nor the Toronto Blue Jays. So Vlad, drop and give me 20. So those are the 2 for T's Boot Camp. A bunch of referees and a 0 for 9 baseball player. There you go.
Hopefully, T can rehab you guys and turn you
There
guys
you go.
into ship-shape athletes and refereeing crews after
Yeah.
you go through his boot camp.
Awful.
That's
flags thrown.
that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Hey, I got a mystery Brown for the week. Hot
Who?
Rod is up 3-2
3-2.
on the captain. I got a good one for this week. You guys get your thinking caps on. This is not going to be easy, but every time I say that, you guys always end up getting it early. But I got a good one
Put your cell
for
phone
today.
down, Rod. Cell phone down.
Yeah, hands up. Hands up.
Hands up,
All
Rod.
right. The first clue is I played on both AFC and NFC teams during my career. Played on both AFC and NFC teams during my career. I wore 2 different jersey numbers over my career, but only one in Cleveland. I was known for more of my consistency than my flash.
Andre Rison?
Nope, not Andre Rison. I once played on a team that reached the Super Bowl, but not with the Cleveland Browns. Woo, we can deep. I got these guys thinking. I came into the league as a late round draft pick. I was not a household name.
You ain't giving me nothing.
All right. My nickname came from my size and attitude, not from any family connection.
Eric Metcalf?
Nope.
Greg Pruitt?
Nope. I spent the mid-'80s in Cleveland during the heart of the Dawg Pound era.
Frank Minifield?
No.
Hanford Dixon? No.
I was part of the same defense as
Tom Darton?
Clay Matthews Sr., Bob Golick, and Hanford Dixon.
Robert Jackson.
Wait a minute.
Dick
Give me that last
Ambrose.
one. I didn't hear it. So you said Clay Matthews.
He played in the same defense with Clay Matthews,
Jerry Shirk? No.
Bob Golick, and Hanford Dixon. He played under head coach
Lyle
Marty
Alzado?
Schottenheimer. Nope.
He played under Marty.
Yep. My best statistical season in Cleveland included 10 sacks.
Oh. Oh, included 10 sacks. Wait a minute. It's not. No, it's not. It's no. And it's not Michael Dean. Jeez.
I
10
was
sacks. You would think.
I was considered one of the locker room leaders, quiet but well respected.
Not Big. Oh, Big Daddy Carl Harrison.
Yo, Big Daddy Carl Harrison. Good job, all right.
Dang it.
That was a tough one. That was a
Big
tough
Daddy.
one, man.
Big Daddy.
Way to go, Rod.
It took me
Way to
back
go,
to the
Rod.
2 jerseys because he wore, remember, he won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was the Philadelphia Eagles, Big Daddy. Well, they didn't win it. I think he went to a Super Bowl. That was when they lost to the Raiders.
To the Raiders. Lost to the Raiders. Yeah.
Yep. Big Daddy played on that defense. That was with Harold Carmichael and Big Daddy Carl Harrison. All right.
Way to go.
All right.
Way to
The
go.
world is back to normal
Jaws
now.
was their quarterback too, I think. Yeah, Ron Jaworski was
Ron
the quarterback.
Jaworski.
Yeah, 4-2.
the
Rod
world is
got
back.
Me. He's got me.
Yeah,
Man,
the world
okay.
is back.
That was a
There we
good
go.
one. That was a good
One of my dad's favorite players, Big Daddy Carl
Big Daddy
Harrison.
Carl Harrison.
Yeah.
Yep, Big
Well,
Daddy.
Unfortunately, man, as much as we like to watch sports and like to watch our favorite guys, unfortunately, there are guys that go missing. There are guys and girls that go missing all the time. And so when they go missing, we got to put out an APB for them. So T has a couple of people that we're putting out an APB for right now.
APB out 1-800-THE-CAPTAIN. If you see these folks, 1-800-THE-CAPTAIN. I'm going to start with Bill Belichick, who is 2-3. He's 15th in the ACC. He got his doors blown off by TCU 48-14, by the UCF 34-9, and by Clemson 38-10. The boosters are mad at him. The alumni, the students, coaches are bailing on him. Man, I tell you, what happened to your winning ways, Coach Belichick? He's, gallivanting around with that young girl. He used to have standards when he was a coach in the NFL. Bill Belichick, 1-800. If you see him, get him my way.
Listen, if you see Bill Belichick out there, don't approach him. Don't approach him.
He's dangerous. He's dangerous. 1-800-THE-CAPTAIN. Belichick. That's right. Next, the Philadelphia Phillies. Your top 3 in the batting order, okay? Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper. One of the reasons why you're sitting at home, you dropped those first 2 games to the Dodgers, okay? Those guys in their first 2 games, they had a total of 2 hits at the top of the order. Again, the top of the order is your trendsetter, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper. Trey and Kyle were batting 0-0-0, and Bryce Harper was batting 250, okay? So that was one of the reasons why they got beat by the Dodgers. So if you see them, 1-800-THE-CAPTAIN. If you see those 3, get them to me, and be careful of them too, because they're armed and dangerous. That's it. And last but not least, Texas football. Okay, now they won Saturday, but remember at the beginning of the year they were talking about that Manning kid and Arch Manning. They were talking about him. Yeah. Hey, he's going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. He's going to go number 1 in the draft. But we're not going to let him come out because that terrible Cleveland team will be looking for him. Hey, we don't want you, Arch Manning. You stay in college for another 4 years. So, again, if you see him and that whole Texas football program, because didn't they start off ranked number 1? Now, I don't even think they're in the top 20. So, Texas football, even though they won the Red River Shootout this weekend, the heck with them. That's right. So those 3. So the top of the order for the Philadelphia Phillies, Coach Belichick, and Texas football. Put out an APB on them. That's it.
And I'm telling you, do not approach these individuals. 1-800-THE-CAPTAIN.
The captain. That's right. Send them to my ship. Send them to me.
APB. That's hilarious. All right, Hot Rod. It's Hot Rod's week for start 1, bench 1, cut 1, and race 1. Now, Hot Rod done already said I got something for you guys. When he gets that look on his face and he gets that tone in his voice, I got a feeling this one's going to be challenging right now. So, Hot Rod, let's see what you got, man.
All right, so let's stay with football. I'm going to stay in that range. Let's talk about Hall of Fame tackles. Since we don't have any currently, let's talk about Hall of Fame tackles. All right? Ready? Here we go.
Yep.
Number 1, Anthony Munoz.
Ooh.
Wow. Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
Number 2, Joe Thomas.
Yes.
Man.
Cleveland
Badger.
Brown.
Up here in Wisconsin.
That's right.
Number 3, Bruce Matthews.
Ooh. Wow.
Come on, Rod.
Oh, man.
And number 4, Jonathan Ogden.
Oh, man.
Blindside?
Whew.
This is tough, T.
Yeah, real
go
tough.
ahead, man.
Yeah. Give me a second. This is tough. Oh, man. Oh, man, Rod.
I can't wait to hear who Rod,
Yeah.
what order Rod puts these in. This is
Ooh.
tough.
This is real tough. I don't even want to go in the direction I'm going in.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll go L Train. I'll go L Train.
Okay. You got it.
Okay. I'm going to start our Hall of Famer, our guy Joe Thomas. I remember when he was drafted, he and his dad were out fishing for bass, man. He wasn't even at the draft. He was out fishing. Yeah, So I'm going to start with Joe Thomas. I'm going to cut Anthony Munoz. Going to cut him.
Are you going to cut him or bench him?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to cut him. But I'm saying out of order. Okay, let me start Joe Thomas. Then let me do it in order. I'm going to bench Jonathan Ogden. Going to bench him. I'm going to cut Anthony Munoz, and I'm going to unfortunately erase Bruce Matthews. I'm going to erase him. That's a tough one. Wow. Can you imagine if we had all 4 of them on our line right now? Can you imagine?
Man,
My
that'd be
goodness.
a hell of an offensive line.
Wow. Yep.
My goodness.
So, yeah,
All right.
start Joe, bench Jonathan, cut Anthony, and erase Bruce Matthews. Wow.
All right. I'm going to start Anthony Munoz. Start Anthony Munoz. I am going to bench Joe Thomas. Bench Joe Thomas. I am going to cut Jonathan Ogden. And I am going to erase Bruce Matthews. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is. Yep.
All right, Hot Rod. Hot Rod got that smile on his face.
All right, gentlemen, here I go. I'm going to start Anthony Munoz. I agree with that. Okay. I am going to bench Bruce Matthews. I am going to cut Jonathan Ogden. And I'm going to erase Joe Thomas.
Ooh. Erase Joe Thomas?
On a
this was tough even when I put it together
podcast,
today.
You're going to erase Joe Thomas?
Yeah.
Woo.
I get it. I get it, guys.
Justify
I get it,
erasing Joe Thomas.
You know,
Justify
Anthony Munoz was, man. Look at the teams he played on. That's the only listen, this was tough. This was tough.
I get you.
Okay.
I get you. Yeah.
But Bruce Matthews, you know what I'm saying? It's rough. Jonathan Ogden won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And I had to cut him. You know. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. That's one of the better ones that we've had. That was pretty
a tough
good.
One.
That was tough.
Real tough.
That was tough. All right, great job, Hot Rod. Let's get to our parting shots, fellas. What do you got for a parting shot?
I'll go first. I got 2 real quick. I'm going to go with a family member, Lil Elliot, 8th grader. His grandmother, our old gym teacher at Randallwood, my Aunt Percy. Miss Jackson, our gym teacher at Randall Woods, she listens to the show every week. And her grandson got his first interception this week. He plays for his 8th grade team, tackle team.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
Norfolk Academy, the Bulldogs, and it was a nice pick. I don't think he turned it into 6, but he grabbed that ball and he took off. So way to go for little Elliott, okay, for the Norfolk Academy Bulldogs. And last but not least, it's all over social media. If you all can see the embrace at the end of the game between Asia Wilson and Bam Adebayo after they won the championship, their embrace, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I don't know what their relationship is, but she met him on the court, or he met her on the court, and they embraced, and it is so beautiful. So that was one of the best things I saw last week, on top of my, little cousin, intercepting the ball. But Asia Wilson, and she's a beast. She's a beast. And, they won it. Vegas won the championship. But if you just see her and Bam Adebayo, for the Miami Heat, how they embrace after the game, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. So those are my 2 party shots.
That's a good one. That's a good one. What do you got, Irod?
Right. My parting shot is Ohio State quarterback Julian Sain. I found out the other day that there was a man who went into a burning house to save his twins and his I think it was his niece, and he suffered 3rd-degree burns. Julian Sain donated a very large amount of money to help this man get back on his feet because his house was totaled. It was burned to the ground. And Julian Sain, and I believe he has a brother who plays for Ohio State as well, they donated a ton of money to get this man back on his feet. So that's something you're not going to hear about, but shout out to Julian Sain and the Buckeyes.
That's a good one, man. That's a great. I had not heard that. Yeah. But this is why these parting shots are so good, man, because you guys bring things to the table that maybe people don't know about, and that's the beauty of having parting shots. My parting shot is this. We spent the whole show talking about what the Browns don't have: leadership, direction, identity. But if you want to see what having it looks like, turn your eyes to what T was just talking about, the Las Vegas Aces. The Aces don't just win games, fellas, they win moments. They play like they understand what they represent, a standard, a movement, and a generation watching them that they have to get it right. Asia Wilson doesn't talk about culture, man. She is culture.
She is culture. Yeah.
Becky Hammond doesn't coach for the headlines.
Right.
She coaches for habits. Every possession, every timeout, every trophy is built on purpose. That's the difference. The Browns are searching for an identity. Yeah. The Aces already built theirs. Mm-hmm. That's my parting shot, man. Some franchises chase greatness, others live in it. And that's the Las Vegas Aces.
That's it. That's true. Wow. Awesome.
Well, fellas, another show, man. Again, this thing is, I think we've gone up in subscribers. We just got to get people to hit that like and subscribe button, man.
Please do.
Keep sharing it. We're getting a lot of great feedback on the show, man. We really enjoy doing it, and this thing is just going to continue to grow through the hard way. From my partners, the influencer, Mr. Hot Rod Rodney Young, and the captain, T, we will see you guys next week on 3 the Hard Way. Hit that like and subscribe button. See you guys later,
brothers,
fellas.
Have a good week. Have a great week.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.